Whoa, it's the Illusion reporting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth. I'm down at Surfrider Beach on a beautiful May day. Anyway, what's going on in the dream? I don't even know. I've been doing that kind of cleanse thing, but I'm too physically active not to be eating anything all day long, so I've been eating salads at night with no dressing and drinking the crazy juice all day long. It's working out pretty good for me. You know, it's one of those things. I've been cutting my sugar intake a lot just on this thing. I realized how absolutely unfunctional my diet is. But, you know, it's the weird thing. I couldn't be doing any of this sort of modification of the food I eat without the hologram. She's been kind of leading the charge on this whole thing. She's a really healthy person. So, you know, life's all about it being a team effort and, you know, finding your teammates and doing what you got to do to be a better athlete at the game of life. And I wanted to, I guess, just kind of check in on a number of different levels. Was, first of all, if you're sending me emails, my answer back system is totally out of whack with any sort of functionality. So I'm getting to them all, man. I'm doing my very best, but I'm not a secretary, so I don't organize myself that well when it comes to replying to the emails. I just kind of, I don't know how I do them, but I do them. Anyway, but I guess why I was bringing that up is there's been this interesting theme that's going through them lately, and it's basically a lot of musicians, young musicians who are either coming out of high school or who are in like the college phase of life, and they're sort of shy or introverted or tripped out about their spacesuit. And this is my take on what is going on here. All right, I'm not a musician. Let's be clear about it. I don't know how to, I've tried to play music. I was forced to play the tuba in high school at some point. I've tried to play the guitar. I just don't have that functioning of taking my appendages and making music. But I'm a music lover. I'm a music explorer. I'm listening to music. I'm checking music out all the time. And I'm not specific to any sort of genre or artist. Like, I go by the Frank Zappa school of thought that once you hear it, it's already on your internal loop, so don't fight it. So I'll listen to everything to see if there's any validity, or I'll listen to everything to see what I don't like. How do you know what you like if you don't know what you don't like? But anyway, I'm kind of going off on a tangent about music, and what I really wanted to get to is communicating. And that's what I find is interesting with this theme of emails, is it's these musicians who can't communicate with the general public or girls or whatever. And it kind of hit me writing this email last night was that first of all, you're already in an elevated form of communication. By being a musician, one who can make music with an instrument or sing or art or any of it, you're already communicating at a higher level of consciousness than I could ever communicate with my voice or my hands or my body gestures. I don't know, man. That's what like performance art's about too. But what I'm getting at is that when you're a musician, you've already elevated your ability to communicate because music's universal. You can broadcast music into time and space and it'll stand up to the test of time. I mean, you go back to the whole beginning of music of just, you know, people clapping, like clapping and making a beat and banging on things, and the whole deal is they were communicating at this deeper cosmic level that was beyond words, beyond time and space. So I think what's going on here is if you're musically inclined for a certain element of the musically inclined, you're communicating at this higher level of consciousness already. So when it comes to communicating on this kind of 5 sense lesser level, we find it very difficult. And I get it, because I can barely convey to you, to the people I'm around, what's really going on inside my mind. Because in one split second, I can see the universe sometimes. I can see all of time and space. In the moment of the now, when I really tap into it, it's infinite, right? So how do you communicate through the mouth these infinite ideas and these infinite concepts? Especially with people that want to talk about like the weather or sports teams or just banality. And it's not knocking it. It's just this thing of when you're in this elevated connection and you're trying to communicate to people not in an elevated connection, it causes this gridlock of communication. And what I was telling these musician guys, and what someone recently turned me onto, is about shyness. I'm kind of a shy guy. I'm sort of an introvert sometimes. Like, I can do this because there's no one in front of me except me looking back at me. It's a weird deal. But what my friend was talking about, she was explaining that shyness is selfishness. And I was like, whoa, what do you mean? Like, it's hard for me to communicate with some people. She's like, no, you're choosing not to communicate with them because either you think that you're less than or you're more than, and you're denying the person that would want to communicate with you their share of the conversation. When we're being shy, we're denying the other half of the conversation their reality. And they may just want to talk about sports or weather. And we may not be able to converse in that level, but we can definitely try to. And I guess, that's kind of, but shyness comes from this other layer of, I don't know what to say, I'm not good enough, I'm less than, I'm odd looking, I feel weird. And again, I think that becomes sort of a narcissistic thing. As someone told me once, only you can end narcissism. And so, it runs this gambit of being selfish, but also being so focused on yourself that you can't actually just stop and be like, hey, what's going on? Because at the end of the day, I think that shyness isn't real. I think you can teach yourself not to be shy. And I think that musicians should be the first ones to almost get it, in a sense of I don't even know where I'm going, man. This is a tricky subject matter. I guess what I'm saying is, every opportunity we have to engage with the human being that we don't seize is us denying them, right? Like, I've learned that in my life. When I ignore someone because I'm too shy to talk to them, or I pass someone by because I'm too shy to engage them, I'm not only denying myself interaction with that person, I'm also denying them interaction with me. They wrote me into their script just as much as I wrote them into their script. And so when I don't engage them, not only do I lose, they lose it as well. So it becomes this thing of back to the selfishness of like, I'm not giving them the information that they need for their life. When we're not engaging the people around us, we're denying them information as well. And it might become this thing where we don't think we have anything to give them, but maybe that's the wrong way to think of like, all we need to do is give them some time and space. We don't need to have these great intellectual conversations with everybody. Sometimes we just need to sit and talk about the weather. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? And so, yeah, I don't even know. Communication's tough, man. You guys with the guitars and the sousaphones and the xylophones and stuff, man, you've got an advantage. And also it's a hindrance because you're communicating to a multi-dimensional level. But then when it comes down to communicating to this sort of 5 senses 3D level, it's tough. I get it, man. I have trouble. But I do find that when I do my art, I'm communicating something so broad and from such a deeper level that it communicates more. So, I don't know, good luck. We're all trying our very best. That's all we got to remember, man. As long as we're doing our very best, we're winning. If we're not trying all the time to be the best human being possible, we're not really doing what the source is asking us, which is to totally explore our good points and our bad points and do data exchanges with our fellow beings so that the oneness of it all can grab the experience. Wow. I don't know if that made any sense at all, but I gave it a shot. It's the illusion chiming in on a beautiful day.